Hey everybody, welcome back. Getting a late start today. I honestly feel like I slept and have woke up as a different person. Not in a bad way, not in a personality sundering sort of way, but I feel like I went to sleep as like an MP3, and I woke up as like an Og Vorbis. I feel like I had the first restful sleep I've had in like 3 months. It's crazy. It's late. It's 9:42 a.m. on a Sunday. Let's get started here. I'm not promising, by the way, that we will win as a result of that, because you never know. We'll randomize first. Tainted Lilith to Megastan. Dude, I'm so crazy that Tainted Lilith to Megastan, to me, is just like a normal run. That's Tainted Lilith. Let's continue caffeinating here. You ever have that? I had one of those sleeps that just like, it was long, excuse me, it was longer than usual. It's probably like an 8 to 8.5 hour long sleep. And, well, okay, maybe next time. But I squeezed more sleep out of that. It was like, you know, like they're talking in that Black Mirror episode. I said they're talking as if this is like a real invention that's on its way. There's that one Black Mirror episode that's like a time distortion thing. It's the one with John Hamm, right? Where, spoilers, because I think this is like a first season episode, but if you haven't seen Black Mirror yet, you're kind of like, you're getting in while the getting's bad. Like, there was a couple years where it was the most talked about show on planet Earth. Except for Planet Earth and Blue Planet and BBC Earth, and you know, you get the idea. But everybody loves the Attenborough content. Of course, you can't compete with that. But you know, Black Mirror, 2017, 2018 felt like it was like the most popular show on the planet. And then I wouldn't say that it really got terrible, but it sort of lost a little bit of its luster from there. In all likelihood, the time in which you were going to be watching Black Mirror is probably not now. So, you know, there's one episode where basically the twist at the end of it, because it's like a modern-day Twilight Zone sort of anthology, is, you know, if you've done something particularly evil, you end up being locked in essentially like a hyperbaric time chamber of punishment where... yeah, take me down here. You know, you are tortured more psychologically and socially than physically, and it feels like you've been in there for like an eternity, but actually it's only been on the outside, like in, you know, real time. It's only been like a couple hours or something like that. They should invent that, but not do bad things with it. Like, they should make a show, or assuming this isn't going to come to pass in real life, they should make, like, what if there was a Black Mirror, but it was, like, Nice Mirror, you know? You know, what if a really incredible piece of technology got invented and was used for good? Hey, wouldn't that be something, Charlie Booker? Why you gotta be so negative all the time, man? Why not... Hey, we've invented a hyperbaric time chamber, and you know what we've done with it? We've used it to make it seem like when you're eating your favorite food, that you've been eating it for hours. When in actuality, you know, it to the outside observer, it only appears that, you know, you took the normal amount of time to eat it. Like, I don't know, how many bites does it take you to finish a hot dog? Maybe like 6 or 7 bites at most? So I was never that impressed. Actually, can I say the opposite? Let's rework this joke from the ground up. I don't know if these exist in America, but they probably do, but I'm just not sure. In Canada, there is a brand, a product, I guess you could say, called 2 Bite Brownies. They came in a paper bag that said 2 Bite Brownie on the outside of it, and I gotta tell you, it's gotta be some of the most genius marketing of all time. I remember they I had seen them in the grocery store a little bit as like an adolescent, but then they started selling them as part of like your classic combo dessert at KFC. Because after you've eaten, you know, multiple pieces of deep fried chicken, French fries, gravy, nuclear green coleslaw, and then a Pepsi product in a like a 64-ounce cup. You know what you need is just like some brownies you can wolf down real quick. Just the meal just doesn't feel right unless you've had a, you know, 4 or 5 2-bite brownies afterwards. And that's where they really started to get popular, at least in my neck of the woods. People would bring, you know, bags of 2-bite brownies to barbecues and family gatherings and stuff like that. I think it's kind of a genius bit of marketing, to be honest, because I don't think that those brownies were actually 2 bites. I think they were a 3 to 4 bite brownie with a reasonable bite size, but because they were marketed as 2-bite brownies, all of a sudden, at least as a child, I was like, you know, that's like the instruction manual. They're telling you the best way to eat these is in 2 bites. I think as a result, I ended up, oh my god, I ended up eating them faster, and thus, you know, not realizing that you're full to like a disgusting degree, and then just continuing to eat more. That's why I'm looking to come out with the, really, I'm hopeful that the Subway sandwich shop will hire me, because I got a new marketing campaign. It's called 4-bite footlongs. You could have like, I don't know, Joey Salad in the commercial or something like that. Come into Subway, try our 4-bite footlongs. He eats a footlong sandwich in 4 bites. Hits his stomach before he knows what's going on. Doesn't realize he's full. He's like, maybe I'll take another 6 inches to go. I had a lot of good ideas this weekend. This is what happens when you have the chance to get a little bit more of a decent sleep, I guess. I had a lot of good ideas this weekend. For example, there's buffets for restaurants. Everyone would agree with this. Many people are saying this. I was watching a little bit of Guys Grocery Games. You know what I thought that they could use? What about a buffet for grocery stores? And I'm telling you, there's some problems with this that I've already thought of, but get ready, okay? What would a buffet for a grocery store be like? You go in, there's a maitre d', okay? They say, Garçon, Madame, welcome to Sobeys or whatever grocery store you happen to find yourself at. Screw you. No, they don't say that. They don't say that part, okay? That was me talking to the game. They say, will you be dining a la carte today at our grocery store, or will you be using the buffet option? If you go a la carte, you just buy things, you put them in your cart, you pay for them at the exit like a normal person. But if you get the buffet option, okay, it's going to be really expensive. I'm going to say that probably you're going to end up having to charge like $200 to $300. And you pay it as like a flat fee, maybe per person or per group when you go in. But, and here's the kicker, some of you have already probably gotten to this point where you can see where I'm going with this. You can get anything you want from the grocery store in any quantity within reason. And I'll talk about that in a second, or maybe right now. Because my thing is, like, when I'm watching Guys Grocery Games, I'm always like, man, isn't that sick that they don't have to check out? That's like the number one thing that makes that show seem like a nice mirror type fantasy to me, is they're at the grocery store, they're like, let me get these scallops, you know, let me get this beautiful halloumi, and then they don't have to check out. They just, you know, bring it right back to their kitchen. That's like aspirational for me. Okay? Now I understand the buffet option has to be very expensive, because otherwise it's open to exploitation. You know, people could go in there and just take like 7 bottles of like the finest olive oil. So this is where the second aspect of this new business model comes in. The same thing happens at a buffet, right? You might go to a buffet and have people be like, well, why not just take 14 king crabs and put it on your plate? Well, a couple of things, okay? The first thing is I have more faith maybe in humanity than that. I think people tend to slightly or even modestly overindulge at a buffet. But I think the proportion of truly bad actors who are like, I'm just going to waste a staggering amount of food, I think the proportion of people like that is in the single-digit percentages, at least. So there's a little, like, you know, a moral component that I think precludes a plurality of the population from doing that. Secondly, the reason you can't really do that at a buffet is because they come out with the food at irregular intervals, right? Like, you don't just go... They don't throw a bunch of lobster out there and then go, don't stop till you're numb, like Jack Nicholson in The Departed, right? Like, you know, as soon as the crab comes out, a murder of hungry vultures descends upon it, and then... Why not? You gotta give it a shot. They all get taken, and then you gotta wait for a certain length of time before the next crab legs come out. What they're banking on sometimes is that people would maybe get sick of waiting and be like, my time is worth more than the crab legs at some point in the equation. Maybe if you've already been there for 40 minutes or something. Or maybe you'll be like, you know what, fine, okay, I'm just gonna eat some rolls. I'm just gonna eat some dinner rolls, and we're gonna get out of here. So you need that at the grocery store as well, you know? I think you keep a constant supply of ground meats, the porks, the beefs, the chickens, the turkeys, even the lambs. Then when you get into some of the what is going on here, man? Excuse me? Can I just have, like, an item that affects my statistics, please? When you get into the higher tier selections, let me caffeinate here, because this is a real proposition. You know, when you get into your strip loins, you get into your ribeyes, you get into your T-bones, etc., etc., your Delmonicos, your duck breast, your lamb chops. You know, you gotta stock those sparingly and at, like, irregular intervals, right? So you gotta have staff come out and be like, you know, hey, just so you know, there's a wink wink, there's a selection of Delmonico steaks coming out in about 5 minutes. Don't worry, I got you, you know? Same thing, you know, like olive oils, balsamic vinegars, stuff like that, they gotta come out a little bit less regularly, you know? Now, I'm not saying this is an ironclad business model. I'm just saying it would be kind of sick, right? Because it would be kind of like you're on a game show, as well as also being on, you know, the grocery store. Those are my two favorite things in the world. Going grocery shopping and also being on a game show. Now, I will also say that the concept of this, people always worry that, like, oh, the business is going to go under. Which is fair, but oh, won't somebody think of the business? That business had a family, right? Like, they go a little bit, they play the world's tiniest violin for the business. My experience with buffets, and what I expect would happen with this place as well, is that they would actually end up being kind of like a bad deal for the consumer. It's not to say that there's not buffets out there where this is not the case, but almost every time I go to a buffet, I end up paying more than I would pay at a quote-unquote normal restaurant. I end up eating more, which is, I would say, not bad, but not necessarily objectively good either. You know, sometimes you eat till discomfort. And if you're not going to eat till discomfort, you're like, why the heck am I going to a buffet then? Should have just gone to, like, you know, White Spot or something like that. That's a BC classic. I wouldn't expect you to understand. And usually, again, tell me you don't live in Las Vegas without telling me you don't live in Las Vegas. Usually, the quality of the food is lower across the board than if you just went to a restaurant that had, like, a couple of specialties. That's my experience. Now, I have been to some decent buffets in my life. Many of them were located within the state of Nevada, for sure. And I think that buffets are different meal to meal. Like, a breakfast buffet is a top-tier buffet for me. Simply because look, it's probably, like, half nutritional and half, like, economical. I don't respect the breakfast restaurant where you order like a classic breakfast, 2 eggs, toast, hash browns or home fries, and you know, did I say 2 eggs already? But then they give you a choice of like 2 breakfast sausages or 2 little strips of bacon. I'm a 4 strip of bacon sort of guy, and I find that that's the kind of thing where you can really only get that at a buffet. Everybody else, they make you sign a waiver first. Meanwhile, at Wendy's, you can get a burger with 8 slices of bacon on it. It's like $6.99. Doesn't even taste good. But so I'm a big believer in the breakfast buffet. Everything else, you know, I could take or leave a buffet, to be honest with you. So that was my first idea, the grocery buffet. I don't know if it would work, you know, like I don't work in supply chain management. My God, it's actually worked. Okay, screw you. That's a colossal tears down, man. That's too much. That's ruthless. Like, it cut our rate of fire by like 30%. I had another idea for a good joke, right? And I don't know, this is probably like a great minds think alike sort of situation. I'd be surprised if I'm the first person who's come up with this. And it's a little gross, okay? So I'm going to start you off there by saying, like, prepare yourself, because if you have a weak mental stomach, this joke may annoy you. But I think you're kind of pretending. Ooh! Can you just... Like, I have 13 bombs. Why am I being so coy about this, man? Come on, just... You know what, you piece? Okay, we're just gonna blow you up. That was embarrassing. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. It more than compensated for the tears down, at least. So here's my joke, okay? And I apologize, it does have to do with bowel movements. If you're one of those freaks who likes to pretend that you don't poop, then, you know, here's your sign. Anybody alive when Here's Your Sign came out? Anyway, I've seen your YouTube watch history. Don't try to pretend you're gonna moralize on me for talking about bowel movements, okay? Now, give me one of these. Relics, very nice. How strange is it, okay, that, and you can frame this joke in multiple ways. Like, you know how I know spicy isn't a flavor? Because it's the only thing you can taste going out the same way it tasted going in. Can you imagine, like, how weird that would be if, like, you know, you ate, like, a warhead, one of those sour candies, and then, like, 14 hours later you were on the toilet and your butthole puckered up? That was off the top of the head, man. I'm kind of happy with that one. Originally, I was just gonna say, like, you know, if you're like, oh, that's aspartame or something like that, but that's so... that's how you know spice is different, man, because, like, you know, it's not like you can taste, like, an over-salted steak or something like that when it comes out the other end. That would be super weird. I would also expect to find a lot more picky eaters if every food you ate you had to taste it twice, but I digress. Again, I'm not trying to be gross, but it's the truth. When you eat spicy food, it is like, it feels hot when you're passing it. That's when you don't think about it, you're like, yeah, that's normal. When you think about it for like half a second, you're like, that's the weirdest thing in the world. It's almost like your beehole has a taste bud. It doesn't. I'm sure it's just that, you know, the capsaicin is not digestible or whatever to the same degree as, well, you know, big things come in small packages. Maybe I could have phrased that different. I'm sure just a little bit of Tabasco sauce applied to a sensitive region hits harder, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Probably could have phrased it a little better, but sour was definitely the right flavor to use there. You'd catch yourself in like an infinite loop. Devil deals cost coins? I gotta be honest, we're doing angel deals. So I actually think that's a negative because it makes shop items cost health, which is not good. Just full, not disclosure. Objectively, that's the word. Not good. Not good. Anthony Fantano voice. Not good. Where did that come from? I don't know. I'm feeling good though. I'm feeling like we got a great chance on this run. Had a good day yesterday. Always like, you know, it depends on your own personal level of motivation. That waxes and wanes, right? I have chores to do every weekend. Yesterday I woke up, you know, early, did my recordings. Where are we at? There we are. And then, you know, did some vacuuming, did some Swiffering, shaved and showered, finished in time to take the kiddo to activity gym. It just feels good to have that stuff out of the way, man. You know I was listening to podcasts, too. You don't even have to ask. You know I was listening to podcasts. I don't know why I doubled this. I guess I just thought it would be funny. It's not going to have any impact for us regardless in all likelihood, but maybe it'll have double the impact now. 2 times 0? Hey, it's still double. Would you rather have 2 zeros or 1 0? In your bank account, I think I could tell you which one. I guess you'd probably rather have like 5 or 6, but, you know, still, you get the... an idiot. 2 times 0 is still 0. Me, a genius. 2 zeros is 10 times 1 0. You know what I'm talking about? Like, from a digit column standpoint? Nope, okay. I'm now using the crooked penny as like a... It's actually as like a protest vote. Like anytime you see me get a bad item and then double it, it's because I'm trying to banish it. I'm giving the Lord the chance to say, like, you know, this one's for you. And he's saying, no, I send it back. Like an old man trying to send back soup at a deli. The sea was angry that day, my friends. But it's still, I gotta remember, you know, how easy you slip into this mindset of like, oh, it's Sunday, like the weekend's already over, even though, you know, it was only like probably 4 months ago that I was only taking 1 day off a week. And I remember being like, when Saturday was over, being like, oh my god, I'm only halfway done. Now it's like it's Sunday, 10:04 a.m. and I'm like, it was a good weekend. You know, you gotta, there's a lesson in life there, I think. You gotta take advantage of your Sundays, man. Don't catastrophize your weekend to the extent that you feel it's over when there's still half of it remaining. You know, imagine if you did that during the Quentin Tarantino film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You know, you're like, I've been watching this for 3.5 hours. It's halfway done. It's almost over. You don't even know yet. You still got another 4.5 hours, including the thrilling conclusion. You don't even know what's coming yet. Mega Satan. Mega Satan, we can do whatever we want. So we'll take the negative first. Salvation's kind of fun. I don't know if we'll be able to productively use it, but the idea of it's kind of sick. We can probably still look at Boss Rush. And I don't respect any of those items, so we'll be leaving. Mega Satan, we're taking the negative path. Okay. Yeah, I took the kid to activity gym. I'm not trying to brag too much, because, you know, I get it, you know. You're seeing the baby on stream. You're aware it's the smartest baby that's ever existed. We're asking her questions. She's answering them. She's doing our taxes for us this year, and I gotta tell you, she found some deductions that I didn't even see. She was like, you know, because your baby is doing your taxes, you can actually take 50% off of those diapers and write them off. And I said, what? It's crazy. But in all seriousness, she's been... I think because my parents, like my dad went home like 2 weeks ago, but my mom's staying a little longer, spend some time with us, spend some time with the baby. So she's getting a lot of, like, attention. She's getting a lot of conversation, and she's overhearing a lot of conversation. She's been picking up a lot of stuff lately. You know, like, where's your nose? Where's your head? What sound does a cow make? Like, she answers those correctly like 80% of the time. But she even started picking up some sign language from this sign language book that we're doing. Like, a month ago, she wouldn't clap. She still hates when other people clap, but she wouldn't even clap herself. Like, we were really trying to get that milestone done. And then once she got it, like, she's off to the races now. Now, like, She knows how to say, "I'll have some more" in sign language, and I said this probably, I don't know, this was like 3 months after the baby was born. I remember remarking upon this on a stream once, that, like, you know, the baby at the time, she says things, but she doesn't know what they are, right? You know, she's crying. They're like nondescript complaints, you know? There's no, like, "I'm hungry" or anything like that, or like, you know, "I love you" or something like that. It's just noise, you know, like biologically compelled noise. I remember being like, I'm gonna freak out when she communicates for real the first time, because it seems so, almost so alien, right? Like, that's a huge milestone for a human being to be able to actually express their thought to another human being. We take it for granted now. That we, without a doubt. People, I'll say this whole sentence, I'll mispronounce one word, or even better, pronounce it the way that Canadians pronounce it instead of the way that they pronounce it in Bloomington, Indiana. People will be like, "That's not how it's said." Listen, I'm weaving you from the loom of all possible words and combinations therein in the English language. I'm weaving you a tale improvisationally on the fly, and you'll be like, "It's not, that's not how you say it, it's in the fly." And then you'll be like, "No, actually it's on the fly," and they're like, "Okay, you don't have to be mean about it." Hey, I pay your salary, come on now. Okay, I was just too lazy for that room. See, you're getting me mad now. I'm just joking. I'm joking, kind of. But now, like, it's getting crazy. Like, it freaks me out. My mom will, like, come over. She'll have a hat on, and the first thing the baby will do when she sees her is touch her head. And, you know, like, that's what we have learned is, like, the way to communicate hat. Like, I'll be like, "Do you want your hat?" And then she touches her own head. It is crazy, man. It's crazy. Might not seem that crazy. Well, I encourage you to just put yourself in the shoes of somebody who has spent, like, the last year taking care of a human being that essentially can't communicate what they want, or what they're thinking, at least, and then to have them just, you know, be like, "Oh, you're wearing a hat." You're like, it's like a talking animal. I mean, literally, I guess, yes, but I'm sure you get used to it, you know? Because you must get used to it, because what do you say when your kid is a teenager? "Don't you talk to me like that." Right now, I can't relate to that. I'm like, oh my god. Listen to her mastery of the English language. She's managed to not only create a way to communicate, but also to hurt my feelings in such a biting way. I'm proud. I'm upset, but I'm proud. But definitely for now, it's like, it's kind of blowing me away. Spirit hearts, please? No? Okay, well, screw you. How are we doing on this run, by the way? I don't really know. We're 28 minutes in. Here's the thing. We're gonna be fine. Tainted Lilith, right, yeah, okay, fair enough. Tainted Lilith is just really, really, really good. The end. It's not impossible to lose with this character. It's somewhat difficult. I honestly, like, if I'm gonna give my, if I'm gonna attribute my success to anything in particular on this run except for just being the character, it's definitely when I got that bone heart, and then rather than just accept that I was gonna lose it for, you know, dumb reasons very early in the game, instead I was like, let's try to keep this alive. I think the fact that we still have it is a testament to its value, right? Anyway, so that, yeah, it's pretty much my weekend. We took, I was gonna say we took my mom out for dinner, but really, like, we drove her out for dinner, and then we get in. I think my parents and I understand each other. Like, my model for how for dinner bill etiquette is from how my parents would do that and settle that score with my grandparents, right? And I just, as a kid, I think you watch things, you know, you live in them for like a decade, and then you either go, that's the way I'm going to live my life forever, or you look at it and go, okay, when I grow up, we're going to do things a little differently. So, particularly my dad's parents, whenever we would like go out for dinner, or, you know, it was like Christmas or something like that, you know, they would fight over the bill. The bill would come out, it would be like a scramble to see who's gonna get it. Sometimes it would be like, you know, this doesn't even matter because somebody said they were gonna go to the bathroom, but instead of going to the bathroom, they actually talked to the server and paid off the bill already. You know, like, it was like a game of subterfuge, and then, like, if someone managed to beat you by paying for the lunch or the dinner or whatever, you would get them back, like, you'd duct tape, like, two $20 bills to their car door handle or something like that. Like, it was just asinine. Who's got time for that, man? So now, I have a simple bit of etiquette, okay? We were going out for dinner. I was fully expecting to pay for it for a couple of reasons. One is my mom's here, you know, on vacation. They've provided for me throughout my life. You know, I'm happy to pay it forward. It's a nice thing to do. I'm still, you know, I don't even want to think about how, if you wanted to look at it through a credits and debits sort of situation, my parents are still very much owed for, you know, 20 years roughly of room and board, and, you know, paying for my tuition, and also, you know, miscellaneous stuff throughout the years. Either way. So it's not that I don't mind, it's that I'm happy to. But, and plus there's two of us, whereas there's only one of my mom, right? So, the bill came, and I was like, my mom was like, I'll get it. And I said, don't be ridiculous. That's like my one trump card in this situation. I'm like, I try to gaslight them. You're being ridiculous. Why would you even suggest that I would be? You think I'm a bad person that I would let you pay for a reasonably priced dinner for me? I don't think so. What, you think I'm a piece of garbage? No, I just said, don't be ridiculous. We got it. And then my mom was like, no, please allow me. And you know what I do then? I say, okay, your funeral. This is mostly, I mean, like, all the actual verbiage is a joke, but the psychology is the same. I'm not gonna fight you over the bill, because it's a big waste of effort. You know, it's gonna come out even in the end if you've got two well-intentioned people, right? Or two well-intentioned groups at least. If you got somebody that never wants to get you back, then just stop offering to pay for the bill, and then, you know, deal with the awkwardness one time when the bill comes out, and then never again, right? But if you got people that both always want to pay for it, you know, you just, you keep like a mental, not a specific ledger, but you know in your head, like, I got the last one, this time it's your turn. Whenever I offer to pay for something for somebody, I never want them to be like, no. I always want them to be like, you know, thank you. That's it. I don't want to get in a debate over it, you know? Okay, we could lose. I don't know if you're in the same spot here. Like, with this Pamela Anderson barbed wire tattoo around my entire hitbox here, I can't really tell what's happening. It just makes dodging that much harder. I was typing like 100 words per minute to get out of that one. I can't come back with Guppy's collar, man. I would probably just turn the game off. There we go. You just wanted to see visible damage, please. Visible damage. You know it's coming. That was a really good amount of damage. I told you I was feeling a little different today. No, not the fires. I thought I heard like a big brimstone beam getting ready. I hate this. Like, you just gotta learn the muscle memory, I'm sure. But that attack can be a little nasty. Would you look at that? Dude, I'm not going to fight Delirium. Like, you gotta be crazy, but don't be ridiculous. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. That was a great run. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!